Hey guys, it's John, your Tennessee flying farmer, building the Super Duty Xtreme. I've got an update for you guys. Actually, first things first right here, I'm gonna get rid of this little rag I had on the horizontal stabilizer. It was there so I wouldn't bang my head on it, and well, I don't think I need that anymore, so there's a pretty good reason for that too.
This guy's good.
Now, here's our farmer, John Homebred.
Look at that! Oh my God!
That was good.
Whoa!
Most of you guys know from my previous videos that I've kind of introduced myself to the world of titanium, and I've built a lot of this control system, changed it from the chromoly factory stuff, and built my own titanium control system. I had mentioned in a previous video, part of the reason for doing so was that I found a crack in the back of the chromoly torque tube, back at the very back of it. This is the torque tube that I found a little crack in the chromoly plate. They have a chromoly plate that's been formed, bent, and then welded to the torque tube. Most of you guys know that I worked for the Zenith factory there for quite a while, and I just wanted to give you a little update because this, of course, Zenith jumped right on this when they found out about it, and they've gone through all the inventory and all of the current process and all that kind of stuff. This is a total anomaly. It was a one-off, just unheard of situation, and I want to assure you guys that the quality control, the meticulousness and perfectionism that happens there at the Zenith factory is second to none. So you guys really don't have anything to worry about. But even with that being said, you know, you are the builder and you're responsible to inspect things, because especially on these control components, lives literally depend on your inspection and your meticulousness. Zenith and I are in regular contact, and they would have replaced that, no doubt. But you know, I had already pretty much made up my mind that I wanted to do some of this stuff in titanium anyway, just because, well, I want to be different and I wanted to try out titanium for the first time. And why not do that while I was waiting on some of my total custom components that are being fabricated and machined? I've been on a wait for some of that stuff for quite a while, so I wanted to pursue this and build these things my own way anyway. With that out of the way, let's get to this update, because, well, I'm sitting here on my little shop stool, and you can see this thing's, good grief, I'm gonna have a ladder here pretty soon. Well, it's on its main gear with the Beringer tires, wheels, all that stuff is all set up on it now. So what I've got on this thing, this is the Beringer 10-inch wheel. It's a Desser 29-inch tire. So it's a pretty good size wheel and brake setup. Of course, the standard Super Duty is a 27.5, so I've just gone up a little bit on tire size. It's not that extreme, but man, you talk about changing the perspective of this thing. It's going to be an all-out beast. This update's a little quicker than normal, well, because I'm excited about it. I know you guys are at Oshkosh, but I've been busy on this thing while you guys are there. Yeah, this is pretty cool. There's a lot of effort that went into getting this to where it is now too. This main gear, of course, I've mentioned before, this main gear is, I got it through Zenith undrilled, so it did not have any holes here where the axles bolt onto it. I had to do that because the Beringer axle uses a slightly different pattern. It's a rectangle shape pattern, and Zenith uses a square pattern, so it's a little different there, and I had to drill those to match the Beringer axle. And of course, with that, I had to get some spacers custom made to work so I could get the offset right and have a little bit of room there between the gear and the tire. And of course, the gear was a whole work in itself. I've literally got probably a good week's worth of work just in this main gear. We took some time. I took it to the local machine shop. We CNC'd and got some weight removed from it. I've lightened this thing about 5 pounds is where it came out. So this gear is lightened on the center section. I'll include some pictures here, you'll see. We machined out some off the center section, and that'll change some of its dynamics. It definitely, the weight I've saved off the gear, you know, that's pretty much a gallon of gas what we've saved between the weight off the gear and the mount bolts on the actual axles, when I get them changed out, those will be titanium, and that's a pretty long little bolt there. So that's between that whole combination, I've pretty much saved an entire gallon of gas. Really, what took me so long on this thing, at least on my end, was just getting the gear cleaned up. I wanted to get this thing in just a raw aluminum, just a raw brushed aluminum type look. This will not be finished with paint or powder coat or anything. This is just going to be a total raw finish. So I spent a lot of time sanding this off, getting the machine marks and the forming marks where they've put this curve into the main gear. Also, they machined, the edge of it there into a rounded, but it was just left with the rough machine mark. So it took quite a bit of time. I used a belt sander, sanded by hand. I have a flat disc, so I've got quite a few hours in getting that ready. But I like this raw aluminum look, especially on the landing gear and on the struts, because those are areas that these tires are going to be kicking up all the dirt and trash and all the off-road stuff. That's where the abuse will happen. So I wanted to keep this an easy maintenance, and what makes this easy for me, at least, it's worked well with the Super 701 also. Every time I wash the plane, when I get through, I'll throw just a standard Scotch-Brite in the bucket of dirty soap water, and then I'll go over the main gear, and I'll go over the struts with this soapy piece of Scotch-Brite. And every wash, you knock a little bit of the grime off of it. Of course, you clean it back up, and you give it that just a tiny bit of a raw aluminum shine back. So every single time you wash it, it looks just like it's freshly done again. Of course, the main gear coming straight from the factory is ready to bolt up, but like I said, that's been machined to a bit of a curve. You can see it's in really good shape. You could just bolt it up and run with it, but there are just little places that I wanted to get it cleaned up, smoothed out. You can see some marks there where they've formed the curve in it and that kind of stuff, and that took a little bit of extra time to get just right. But anyway, it is now on the plane. The plane is up. You can see a little quick difference. This engine was set up to work with it just on the standard gear that I had with the casters before. So when I put the tires on it, it made this much difference in how much it's raised up. So like I say, I'm gonna be working from a ladder on this thing now. Now that I've got the main gear on this thing and got it headed in the right direction, the next thing up is going to be this nose gear. I've got, of course, the struts in the works through the TK1 Monster Shock. We got all that stuff in the works. I've got the Beringer wheels all the way around. What I'm struggling with at the moment, and actually we've got it figured out, but the nose fork for this thing, I went with a Aero Classic 806 tire, which is the same number size as the Airhawk that comes with the kits, but I found out that this Aero Classic tire is actually 1.5 inches taller and a little over 1/2 inch wider than what comes with the kits. And with that extra little bit of size there, I've got the standard stock fork. The fork will not fit over the tire at all, and of course it's not tall enough to reach down all the way to the axle either once it's on there. So I have a fork in the works. The design is there at my local machine shop. We will be building one specific for this setup. I think it's going to work really well. So that is my next step. I'll get the fork for this, and then that will allow me to make sure I've got everything just right so I can get the final dimensions of what I need here on the strut. And you can see I've got a level up here on the cabin frame. I've got the thing level back up so I can see, this is about the stance I'm going to want this machine to have on the ground. So once I kind of get the nose fork figured out and on the tire mounted, I can prop it up here and I can measure and get all this final stuff, and hopefully we can get this thing on all 3 feet and continue right along. What else is next on my list? Well, I've got started looking at the electronics, the rest of them, the wiring, the little bit of switches I'm going to need for the startup and redundancies and that kind of stuff. I'm not too far from needing quite a bit of stuff like the ELT and a lot of that kind of stuff. And well, there's going to be a lot of money spent here. So if you guys know of any sponsors, send them my way for some of that. Anyway, I know you guys are wrapping up the last couple of days of Oshkosh, so go by and tell my friends hi. You know, I've got Zenith, got my buddies there. Go by and tell them I said hi. Go check them out. UL Power Engines, of course, Beringer. I'm going with Garmin, so go tell all these folks I said hi. Go see them, check out their products. They're all really amazing. Hoping to put a Duke propeller on this thing, so swing by that booth and tell them hi. And anyway, I'm going to try to get back to work on this thing and make a little more progress for you guys and see if we can't get another update out here sooner than later. As always, thank you all very much for watching and reaching out, giving me the moral support I need to keep this beast going. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Also, stay tuned because I'm going to give you one more little clip at the end. See ya. All right, here we are. So you guys know I'm very much a perfectionist, but there's one little thing. I love the outside look of this thing. It's all smooth. The edges are all really nicely done. I'm going to find out how many of you guys are actually paying attention to my videos here. When you guys see me at an air show with this airplane, come up to me and feel the bottom edge of this gear. It is not perfectly finished. Just come up to it. Tell me that feels like a sack of walnuts when you rub across it, and I'll give you guys some extra swag. It actually looks really good, but if you feel across it, you can still feel a little bit of imperfections there. So anyway, if you're a true fan of what this thing is really going to become and you're paying attention all the way through, let me know. I'll give you guys some extra swag. Catch you later.